right here. I think the T-shirt itself was $6, and then the guy who printed it up. And this was like last minute, you know. I went to a flea market. I said, "Hey man, print my logo on this thing, real. I need it for A3C."
That black is like black.
That's
red is red. Damn.
That's crazy. Stop.
Oh, no, but I think anything takes effort. Of course, it takes money, but it also takes being creative. Like just with anything, whether you're a producer, you're a visual artist. I mean, like the Atlanta visual art scene is growing so crazy too. You know what I mean? Some of the producers that are out here, a creative thing for producers can do. Why don't you link with some of these creative artists, visual artists that do these shows in Atlanta and say, "Hey, I'd like to do a soundtrack for your event," and team up with them, because people go to visual. Some people who get tired of the hip hop scene, they might go to a visual thing. Those are so many other avenues. It's just that if you're out and visible and you kind of know these things, you'll know. You
know about a Goldie Gold. You know about a paper frame.
What up, Goldie Gold?
People like
Eric Nine. Like visual art. See, it's like just as much as I know about the independent artists in Atlanta as well as major artists, whatever. I know a lot about the visual artists in Atlanta, because I like going to visual, like these type of events and stuff, like Art Beats and Lyrics, I was the original host for, where the art scene in Atlanta really started picking up. That's just one other avenue that people can attach to, that you can, if you're a producer or you're an artist, you can kind of meet people and make connections for things.
What type of artists do you like to have on your show?
For the Beats and Lyrics show, to be quite frank, it's kind of like, I look at it as the type of artists I tend to be artists that are honest. And when I say honest, I don't really care if you're a gangster rapper. I don't care if you talk about necessarily bitches and hoes. Also, at the same time, it has to sound good. Does it sound good? Are you biting someone else too much? Independent artists, I'm very more, what's the word I'm looking for? When you're an independent artist, with independent artists, I'm more open to everything. With major label artists that I have on my show, I might be a little more closed, because the thing is, someone might be doing a style that I don't particularly like, and I feel they already got the promotion that they need.
They got the machine behind them already.
They already have a machine behind them, because we always have an independent lean for the show. That's why the show's been around so long. I've seen people come and go. I just don't like anybody to, because we had a problem with a recent platform we were on, the station we were on, that they were mad that we
show balance.
Yeah, we could, because we always show balance. I mean, so my thing is, I don't care if you're a former gang member or anything, but some people at the station had a problem with that, or whatever the case may be. Or, we interviewed Rick Ross, the real freeway Rick Ross.
Rick Ross.
Somebody might have had a problem with that, even though he's doing a lot of positive things, talking about a lot of. Somebody had a problem with that, at the station, for some reason. And then somebody had a problem with some things people say, but like then you have Tupac that had a Dear Mama song, and then Tupac also had like White Man's World, So my whole thing is like,
I get around.
Yeah, I get around. So really, none of us are monolithic. We all have different moods and things that we listen to. So it goes back to the same thing I'm saying again about, even from people say, okay, well your show, you're not progressive enough. But I'm like, I'm about balance, and then making sure that the art is good in my eyes, and I think it's worthy of other people checking it out. Not saying that this person has to be a fish to get some light from my end. They could be a bird, they could be an orangutan, you could be a fucking roach if you want to. But just as long as it's good. The artists that I tend to gravitate towards the most would be like a Mos Def. A Black Thought from the Roots. It could be some Nipsey Hussle. It could be Game. It could be, especially depending on the particular songs, old school guys, KRS-One. It could be Kendrick Lamar, who in Atlanta, we were the first people running regular Kendrick Lamar's music first place to interview him in Atlanta, and first place playing his music on a regular basis. Not some situation where it's like, okay, everybody's on them now. No, that's what we already do. So we already look from guys from like the West Coast. We look on the internet, see who's good, put it up on the different platforms. Like, I created my own website just so I could have an extension of the radio show, and expound on things, so you can add more to the process. So really, I'm open to anybody who's not bullshitting us from a creative standpoint. Don't bullshit me from a creative standpoint, because then I'm not going to support it. Like, can I find some artistic merit? Are you saying something deep at times?
Right.
If you're saying something that might not resonate with me, I'm not a gang member, but if you're saying something that I can relate to in there, or open my eyes to, or whatever, everybody doesn't have to be Martin Luther King Jr., but make sure that the art or whatever is creative or whatever.
Well,
I don't know if that answers your question.
It does, and I just want to say real quick, just kind of going back a little bit when you were talking about the balance.
Right.
And I said, wow, it's probably TV that has people fucked up, because that's almost like people trying to script your reality.
Absolutely.
Right.
You can't script somebody's reality. You know what I mean? But on TV, like, they do it all the time.
And I can tell you a number of things about reality TV off the camera I can't say here. I'll tell you off the camera. But, reality, and it's just like you said, I refuse, and see, here's the thing. Just like I said, don't bullshit me, right? We talk about this on the radio all the time. I refuse to watch certain reality shows, because they're not reality shows. They're really money-making things for the networks that, those people are under, and all those people want to make a check. So just like you said, they're scripted. You're right. A lot of them are scripted. So when you watch some of the scripts, you see the fights, you see all this other stuff that's going on, and then meanwhile you got like not saying you got to raise anybody else's kids, but you see a 13-year-old girl, 12-year-old girl, it's like, that's what I identify as. Once again, you're a fish. You're not showing anybody, you're not providing other things where other people can say, I can identify with this. You're pigeonholing me back to being a fish. I gotta go beat this bitch upside the head again, or some crazy stuff like that, when you see all the fights. And it bothers me as an African-American male. I hate seeing these reality shows and you see like a lot of nothing but black women fighting. And then I know for a fact a lot of that stuff is scripted, which I